Oh Lord, what's going on? How y'all doing? Yeah, it sounds like a whole lot's happening in my background. It's the fireworks, y'all. Fireworks. God. Go home. What's going on, everybody? Good evening. Happy 4th. It's 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you guys are doing okay. I had every intention on actually going, trying to put some music on. Actually going over Wendy Williams' lawsuit, but I don't want to do it tonight with all this background noise that I have going on. Oh Lord. But I finally got my first video done on Elijah Bishop, the cult leader, and his carbonation cult. He's also known as uh Nature Boy, Three God something. It's something else, but we're diving into those series finally. So that video will be premiering tomorrow, as well as a video that I did on Candace Owens. Lord, she is something else. She making international headlines everywhere. Just international headlines. If it's not something dealing with Blake Lively, it's something with the French president, or something about her views on this Iran-Israel conflict. I mean, some of the points she made was valid. Um, but the other headliners, it's like, girl, what are you doing, girl? But either way, I did get some more content done, and I feel accomplished, y'all. So, how y'all doing? What's going on, Saint? Happy 4th. McFreak Nasty. That's a hated trick. What's going on, y'all? We finally gonna check out Public Ops. Shout out to Public Ops. Thank you for tagging me in, giving me a heads up on your great content. I love his videos, y'all do. And he tagged me on a few, but one of them I want to show tonight deals with this BP Capital. And I did some background research on BP Capital. As you know, they basically were an investment company that was promised, a bunch of houses and those types of things in Dolton. And at the time when it first came up, the former Lagura mayor wanted to have homes sold for residents to pay like $5,000, but BP Capital pay a lesser amount. But then somehow I guess thought that they were supposed to finance the renovations. It got so muddied. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna break my brain. We're just gonna watch the video and we'll talk about it together. But I do it, and I hope I got the right BP Capital up. I did want to just kind of show some background on them, and you guys can see what the hell they're about. I pulled up their LinkedIn. But how you guys doing? Who all barbecued today? We having a barbecue. Anybody having a cookout? I got some just some quick fix stuff for my kids. Y'all, it's too hot to cook. I'm gonna be honest. When it gets hot like this, I'm gonna be honest, all I really want is a bowl of cereal and be left alone. A fan and a bowl of cereal. And to watch, videos. Got a lot of stuff to catch up on with, my kids. They're huge Marvel fans. So am I. So it's something that me and the kids get to watch together. We haven't been able to really watch a whole lot of some of these shows on Disney Plus, but we're gonna get to it. Me and my oldest son are both working. I mean, just exhausted every day. It's not a whole lot of information on this BP Capital. I mean, it's weird, right? Oh Lord. So I think that's what I'm gonna start with first, and then we'll get to the video. So y'all let me know if I got the right one up. Because there's a whole lot of BP Capitals and BP Capital Management, Energy Fund. They got a whole lot going on. But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in. 6 people watching so far. Y'all hit the like button. Oh my God, I had Popeyes folks work and travel today. So yeah, decided to make it easy on everyone. Exactly. Yeah. I got a rotisserie chicken and some sweet Hawaiian rolls, potato salad. That's gonna be my dinner as well. Cause my kids got the chicken salad, things that are just more light and healthier. Um, bunch of fried, try to avoid the fried food stuff like that now. You gotta set the example for your children. So I want them to live long and prosper and be healthy. So- and one of the reasons why I want to go over this BP Capital thing is because what's going to start happening in Dalton is, you'll see a lot of homes being acquired. We already touched on the Pope's childhood home being acquired through eminent domain, I think, or they came to some agreement, basically. So you're gonna see a lot more of that because the houses around the Pope's home, people are gonna start becoming interested in those homes, and there's a lot of value in them now. Funny how that happens with the Pope becoming the Pope, and he just so happened to be from Dalton. So yeah, um, people are going to start trying to either sell their homes or you're going to have interested investors trying to buy the homes. So hopefully this will kind of give the people of Dalton a heads up on just the historical context of the opportunities that you want to make sure you vet and do your background research on and understand, what's going on so you don't get duped, right? You don't want your home to be sold for pennies on a dollar when the value of it, just simply because it's on the same street as the Pope's childhood home, is insurmountable. So don't shortchange yourselves. If you do decide, if those who live there on that street, you decide, okay, either I want to turn my home into a business of some sort, because all this traffic is about to come through, or sell it altogether. Just be well prepared. And if you say no, stand your ground on that. But there's a history of this, where you have homes being sold and almost like residents being pressured to do it. So, we don't want history repeating itself. I don't just go back in time and rewind just for the sake of it. It's for a reason. And it's just kind of a heads up on, what's to come when it comes to those properties and the investment opportunities that, some investors will want to take upon. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, then you got to do your research, is all I'm saying. All right. What's going on, everybody? Skeeter, what's going on? Hey, Skeeter and Mark. If you guys hear like the pop sounds in my background, it's the damn fireworks. I wish they would go to bed. Go to bed. This is all day with this. I mean, even before it got dark, they've been at it all day in my neighborhood. All damn day. It's a headache, y'all. Shout out to my mods. Shout out to everybody in here. I appreciate all of you for tuning in on the 4th of July. Lord knows you can be doing anything else. But thank you all so much for tuning in. I want you guys to be on the lookout for the 2 videos that will be premiering tomorrow. Candace Owens making international headlines, and Elijah Bishop and his coat. So very interesting videos. You might hear some of the sounds in the background in the Elijah Bishop video, but shout out to Hood Horrors. They have a whole series. And I pulled up a couple article in that video. I think I had 2 pulled up and only got the chance to show one because I didn't want the video to be overly long. But you guys make sure you're prepared to check that out and tune in on that. When the videos premiere, you all, it's not an actual live stream. It's just a pre-recorded video that I'm premiering just to hope that people get the chance to watch it. So I bless God, the channel is growing. but I do want it to grow even the more. So we are aiming to hit 30,000 supporters by July 31st. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, engage in the chat, sharing the content, the videos, and everything. That way we can get the channel growing, because that's what it's all about. It's getting this great content out, information, hopefully that people can find useful, and just being able to chat and engage with you all. You guys are fun. We had a good time in the members only live last night. We're going to finish up the last part. It came down to having to break up random news video into 3 parts. So we're going to finish up the last part tomorrow. Like I said, I don't want to do it tonight because of the damn fireworks and stuff. But tomorrow we will do a live on Wendy Williams and the lawsuit that her ex-husband filed on her behalf. So I'm learning a lot about that. I had no idea that she is fighting with this conservatorship and trying to break free from that. Like, I didn't know it was that deep. She's not somebody I kept up with, but one of you, I think it was Skeeter. One of you all asked me to go over the Wendy. Was it Skeeter? One of you all asked me to go over Wendy Williams, the lawsuit that was filed on her behalf by her ex-husband. And so I have it. It's like 112 pages. So of course I did a summary, and I put up a couple articles just to kind of give a timeline and some background information on her diagnosis. And we're going to go over that in the live tomorrow. And then hopefully after that, I can do the members only live. Seeing that I have 2 videos so far just set to premiere. So I want to be able to just focus on doing the live and the members only live tomorrow. All right. Shout out to Public Ops. Y'all hit that like button and subscribe and become a member. Caught me, hey, Bish Logic. Caught me a Lady Luck live 5 a.m. in the morning. I feel honored. Where are you at 5 a.m.? It's 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where I am. You're 5 hours ahead of me? Woo, child. Well, I feel honored that you catching my live at 5 a.m. That is amazing. No matter how hard I try to stay away from doing late lives, it just ends up happening that way. it just comes down the pipeline like that. Thank you for tuning in. I feel honored. I really do. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Fireworks here too. Yeah, they're everywhere. Hi, Bush, everybody. Oh, everybody's speaking to everybody. It's awesome. Happy we can spend some time together today, tonight. Absolutely. I support the Lady Luck. Thank you so much. I feel so special. Oh, you're in South Africa. Oh, right now. Look at that. Y'all, man, listen, I really feel special now. Got people watching in South Africa. Look at that. The world is becoming one. Oh, man, yes. Okay, LLC, what kind of skincare do you do? Your skin looks smooth all heck. Nah, it must be the lighting. I use Dove soap. I really don't. I don't like makeup. I'm not a big believer in wearing makeup, anything like that. I just have some Vaseline for my lips and Dove soap. I have very sensitive skin, so I use a lot of I have to put on hydrocortisone, stuff like that, just to keep down the breakout, especially when it's hot, because the extra heat and all of that dust, those types of things, the little things just break my skin out real bad. So I'm be honest, it's just Dove soap, hydrocortisone, that's it, and keeping my fingers out my face. That's about as much as I did. It's like this here. That's it. That's keeping my fingers out. Even if it itch, I try not to use my fingers and put my hand in my face. That's pretty much that. I hate makeup. I really hate makeup. Because my skin is so sensitive, all it does is break me out. I hate it. But either way, the world is becoming one. South Africa, y'all, I feel so honored. I feel so honored. I'm a night owl, so they are perfect for me. Absolutely. I'm a night owl too, but it's hard with the kids and stuff. It's really hard to get a lot done during the day, especially during the week, because I have, a regular job. But even on the weekends, I mean, getting up, you know, uh, trying to get some sleep. You never sleep. When you have kids, you never sleep. You're never gonna get like 8, 9 hours of sleep. Like I have to be like sick. There's one thing no one warned me on. You will not get another night's sleep because you're always gonna be worried about your children, even after they become adults. Still worried about them. So yeah, no, sleep is overrated. Overrated. Sad to say. Oh, 5th of July out here. What part of Africa are you? Or you said South Africa? What country are down there? A territory. We'll make sure I'm asking correctly. The time is it's 5:15 a.m. there. This is amazing, y'all. South Africa in the house. Listen here. Isn't O'Shea Duke Jackson in Africa as well? The other is a content creator, a big content creator. O'Shea Duke Jackson is in South Africa too, right? Or in Africa. He said he's in Africa. I don't remember where. That's something else. All right, y'all. I want to get started. That way I can let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your evening. This is the WallStreetOasis.com website here. I just did a quick Google search on BP Capital. I hope I'm looking at the right thing because they kind of seem to be all over the place. It's saying that it's headquartered in Texas. So you all let me know if I'm looking at the right thing here, just to give some background info. It's a commodity pool operator, general partner for the BP Capital Energy Fund. Is this right? Happy 4th. Hey, Tom. How you doing? Happy 4th LLC and everyone. I just want to make sure I got the right thing up. What's going on? As you guys come in, make sure you're hitting that like button. Happy to see all of you here. 25 people watching. Listen, that's pretty good for the 4th. Investing with energy. This can't be the right one. BP Capital Dolton. Let's see how that goes. Oh Lord, it's showing me live. um I hope I was looking up BP Capital. I hope I was looking up the right one. It's giving me BP. Give me everything but. Oh boy. Y'all see, I did a Google search on BP Capital and I'm getting everything but what I need to see. Look at this. It must be something related to BP Energy Partners in Texas. Let's see here. BP Energy Partners LLC today expressed best wishes to T. Boone Pickens after he announced the closing of BP Capital, which he operated for more than 2 decades. Is this the right one? So they no longer operate now? Is this it? What? This is something else, y'all. If I'm looking at the right one, T. Boone Pickens exit from BP Capital to have no impact on BP Energy Partners. This decision will have no impact on the current and future operation of BP Energy Partners. On behalf of the entire team at BP Energy Partners and our portfolio companies, we wish him the best with his new plans and priorities. This is BPEP's co-founder and managing partner. Mr. Pickens was a sponsor of BPEP when it was founded in 2014. Thank you for supporting us and sharing our vision when we launched our private equity business. Even though you're no longer involved in the business, we are proud to continue to build upon your legacy. That is something else. So it no longer exists. is what I'm seeing. That's something else, y'all. What's going on, Cher? Hey, Sharon. Why is it I nailed that? I knew exactly how to pronounce that. Hey, children. Yeah, that's old school. Children, what's going on? How you doing? Happy 4th. Hope you guys are having a good evening. I'm just trying to go over some background info on BP Capital of what I can find anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. This BP Capital thing gives me pyramid scheme vibes. It might be a legitimate company, but it's giving me pyramid scheme type of vibes here because why is it this difficult to find this information on it? It's giving me, this is a Ponzi scheme type of vibe. That's what it's giving me. That's just my personal feeling on this. God. So I'm seeing a lot of this BP Capital under BP Energy. So I hope I got the right thing up. Yeah, this is something else. Either way, tomorrow we will be going over Wendy Williams and the lawsuit that was filed on her behalf to get her out of this conservatorship that she has been ordered into by the court. She was ordered a guardian, and her ex-husband Kevin Hunter was like, no. Plus, she's somewhere confided and she wants to leave. I just, let her go be with her family. I see it. It's crazy. Everybody, because you live in Georgia. Yep. cheering. Oh man, that's why you say you 5 a.m. Like, yeah, yep. Okay, so I'm ready to get to public ops, y'all. Of course, he at me in the video, so you guys make sure you go and check him out. He has about 3 or 4 videos that I always ask him. Keep it coming. I'm honored to be tagged. It gives me a heads up, lets me know, hey, check this out. And plus, I check it out and I give him a shout out in return. That's how that works. That's how YouTube tagging works. It's just showing support. It's not a bad thing. No one's calling anyone out. It's a good thing. I'm okay with it. And after 4 good years on YouTube with 2 channels, you understand the art of YouTube tagging and building that sense of community and having great content creators, check out your content, you check out theirs, and you're giving each other shout outs. So when you guys check my description in my videos, you'll see content creators tagged in it. So feel free as always to go check out other great content creators out there. I'm not the only one on YouTube and there's no competition. All right. It's just not. So I'm honored. I'm honored that Public Ops TV thinks of me to want to tag me in. It is an honor, truly. So let's get to it. You guys ready to check this video out? I know this is, this is how it starts. I promise I'm not making this up. Push logic. We have BP in South Africa, petrol gas company. We fill our cars in their garages. Yeah, I was trying to pull up BP Capital, and I'm not seeing much information on it. That's why I say it's giving me pyramid scheme type vibes. Hopefully, no one sold their home to them. God. Sheriff said Bush. That's petroleum, British petroleum. We have that here too. They had a shooting at the Oglethorpe Mall in Savannah, Georgia, near my home down there. Yeah. Was it you? Someone else told me to check out. Oh, no. Check out oh Lordy. Check out the shooting that occurred. I think Laura gave me a heads up on that too. Shout out to Laura. Shout out to my mods. Shout out to all of you members, supporters. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Um No, yeah, these are different companies. BP Capital is not the same as the BP, the petroleum, unless it falls under that BP Energy parent company. I don't think they're the exact same. Um, but I can't find much on BP Capital, so there's no different type of company. One lady had a heart attack and died. Are you serious? Yeah, man. Oh Lord, world is going mad. World's going crazy. And you got Candace Owens talking about French mayor's wife and whatever she theorizes with that. Like, girl, there's some more, so much more important headlines you could be putting out here with that platform you have. Girl, please. That man, leave that man alone. He don't pay your mortgage. It's so crazy. A shootout in the mall again. It's like, oh man, we got to just be on alert because of especially with the U.S. involving itself in conflict that's been going on for thousands of years. Oh man, this is part of this alert where you don't know who's doing what, who's orchestrating what, and the retaliation from some of our decisions as a country is just beyond this world. Because our nation is on right now. Won't be going out into any festivals or events due to folks doing ambushes on crowds of folks. Exactly. I mean, that's sort of what I talk about in the video that I have premiering tomorrow as well. Checking out the I don't know if it was debate or what between Candace Owens and Piers Morgan, and it was kind of speaking to that. I mean, we're involving ourselves in something that this conflict with these, Iran and Israel has been going on for thousands of years. You're talking about land and power and faith and their belief of something, all of that. And they say Israel had the capability to defend themselves, so why didn't they do it? And now it just puts the U.S. in this position to where we got to be on high alert. Everybody's nerves going bad at once. Crazy. Oh man. Yes, they are. Sure, yeah, spooky. You're afraid to go anywhere. Once I started seeing that people were capable of doing that in churches and in courthouses, that's when I was like, oh man, no. I don't put it past anyone that someone will go and do something so heinous and evil and soulless as to take it upon themselves to take somebody else's life like that. It's crazy. He said, I kept my hands at home. Me too. Me too. And I have kids. I have to think about them. Truski, I don't like going to celebrations now. Yeah. It's crazy how life can be taken based on beliefs. Yes. I mean, in the decisions that we make, how we live our lives, all based on our faith and belief in some, I'm a Christian. I believe in God, but I also believe in, you know, doing the right thing. We have laws. We don't just drop missiles on something and then we didn't get congressional approval to do it. And now look at the consequences of the actions that was made on behalf of the entire country. It's so crazy. But, when you go out, you just got to pray and, you know, have your faith in God protecting us all. Because, me neither. I've been on the road since 5 this morning. Just got home. Drivers and pedestrians crazy today. Yeah, you got to stay safe out there as well. I cook, clean, spoke to my children, took care of Mark and my dog Java. We're good. Awesome. 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 All right, y'all. We're going to get started on this. 38 people watching. Make sure you hit the like button and feel free to comment in the chat. You ain't got to hide in the bushes. 38 people watching. It's all right. You're safe here. This is a safe space. Safe space. Stacks on stacks on stacks, racks and racks and racks. Okay, let's go. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see it here. I'm gonna make sure this is sped up a little bit, just for the sake of time and brevity. There we go. All right, let's go.
identify in the LGBT community as bisexual male, and that amongst a plethora of other things. I'm a crackhead, I'm a strong drug user, thief, liar, adulterer, because I ain't married.
This part here.
I don't have a problem removing my hat. I look about the same. I have had the blessing of having a praying mother who is also a bona fide, verified, certified prophet of God.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Look at this.
Special pops, thanks to all the members that support my work. This is a long one, so buckle in. It's about to get bumpy. This is dedicated to my best buddies, Louie and Narla. Life can be cruel.
I look at that doggy walkies. Look at that. He always has his clip towards the end, and it's like a happy dog. Happy dog. I don't understand what they're saying. Come on, man.
I spoke with Attorney Murphy this week, and I asked him also about the program about Block by Block. Now, because we have a contract with BP Capital, and I don't want this village to be sued either, because we have the standing contract with BP Capital, and then we came back at the last board meeting to amend that contract to include the 6 houses.
What?
What I'm trying to say, you didn't do. You didn't come in there when you talked to me personally. You didn't know when you there. Bullshit. Bullshit. Everyone here.
What? It's so zesty. What's going on?
Step out.
Needs to be escorted out.
You're not gonna come up here and disrespect me. You're right. I didn't disrespect you. You can go to hell.
Wait a minute. No, these meetings have always been off the chain. Look at this. Okay, how do you amend the contract to add on to some houses? What was that? What was the pretense of amending contract to add on those homes under? What was the purpose of that? Maybe they get to it in the video. This is something else. Y'all see? This is so zesty.
P Capital. And then we came back at the last board meeting to amend that contract to include the 6 houses.
What I'm trying to say, you didn't do. You didn't come in there when you talked to me personally. You didn't know when you there.
Who is that?
Bullshit. I didn't want to hear.
Pearson.
Don't disrespect me.
Step out.
Oh.
Come up here and disrespect me. You're right. I didn't disrespect you.
Okay, who's the person up there talking? I'm telling y'all right now, I didn't watch a whole lot of these older meetings. I don't even know if I could at this point anyway, because yeah. When it comes to little girl, little stupid, it's hard to just watch her for a long period of time. I can't stand the sound of her voice and broken English. I can't take it. But who is the guy talking? Someone tell me that. I worry about all of you because of where you live in the political environment. Absolutely, yeah. And I tell you all, please be safe. Ooh, that's funny. I think his dog just died. I thought he had to give up. Hopefully he'll comment and let me know what's happened with his dogs. I could be wrong. I thought I saw somewhere where he had to give them up, but I'm not sure. They died. Oh man, Karen's dog. Karen lost her dog Rusty as well. It's it's very sad. Road tripping. What's going on? Road tripping. George Washington warned us to avoid foreign entanglements. He did, because he had to handle the French when they wanted to have their Revolutionary War, and he was like, we appreciate you all helping us in our revolution, but we can't keep going to war either because we're not that established as a nation, which was understandable. But that's how you end up having party split. The idea and the concept of war literally sparked separate political platforms in the United States of America. One of the major reasons why we have more than one political party. Yep. A house divided amongst itself cannot stand. Bottom line. So, yeah. We need to start really following our law and go to our legislative branch of government and say, hey, what is the benefit to this? You know, why are we doing this again? That's that oversight that we need. This is what happens when branches of government start to go rogue or they get completely controlled and taken over by the other branch of government. They are three separate but co-equal branches of power for a reason. And that oversight is needed. The legislative branch should have been able to reel in the executive branch and say, nope, you launched that thing. We're going to take action on you because we are not for play. That's how it should be. And it wasn't. It's still not. It should not be that much influence over any branch at all from another branch. They all have equal power and they are to exist separately. Meaning one should not be able to control the other. But our checks and balances is just out of whack on laws that we created here, that we said we were going to follow, called the Constitution. What a pity. So BP Capital takes on the cost of fixing up abandoned properties, pays huge past water bills, then sells the homes, creating a new tax revenue. Okay. I couldn't even find information on BP Capital, but thank you for that. It's a good little breakdown on that. Why are we parliamentarians acting so childish all around the world? These are people who's supposed to take decisions on people's lives. Exactly. I don't know. If he would have went to the legislative branch of government and said, look, man, Israel's asked us to do this. I just need to know, first of all, does it make sense? Can we afford it? Is it worth it? What's the benefit? Congress probably overall would have said, no, bro, stop. This will never end. It's been going on for thousands of years. Perhaps we should just have, thoughts and prayers sent their way. But if they have the power and the might to be able to drop a missile themselves, why didn't they do it? That was my biggest question. Same question I'm still asking for the last, 2 weeks. Why didn't Israel just do it themselves? Leave us alone. Don't ask us to do that. So crazy. But that's my thoughts on it. People are going to disagree. But it is what it is. Wish I could answer that. Yeah, we all do. This meeting, Riley can't do math. He does greedy math. Is not giving permits to BP contractors, so BP can't finish in time. BP has to pay $30,000. Riley is a douche. Is that what? So this is my first time watching this video in full. So I wish these people go to bed. Enough of the fireworks. Y'all hear it in my background? I'm sick of it too. It's annoying. Watching my country go from democracy to dictatorship is heartbreaking. Yeah, when the three branches of power refuse to operate separately but co-equal and to keep each other in check, that's when you have, this breakdown of democracy in general and oversight and accountability. Because now you have all of these branches pretty much agreeing to do something because one branch said so. That's the issue here. A house divided amongst itself cannot stand. It just can't. Nice words. Bitter part of it is that they then create movie for us to watch their murderous thoughts. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm glad we have double insulated windows. It muffles the booms from the fireworks. Oh my God. Mine sounds like somebody is in my house launching fireworks. It's just that loud. Oh man. That's why I said I'm not going to keep you guys all night. 39 minutes in. We're going to check out this video and I'll give some thoughts and you guys let me know what you think as well. Let's get back to it. Can someone tell me the name of the person that's talking though? That trustee up there? Because he going off. Zesty.
And I personally asked some of my FBI agents.
Gross.
Yes, I have personally asked the Attorney General to look into this because there's some corruption somewhere. Anytime you got people that stand in Dolton, living in Dolton, and that can need to eat and feed their family, you should have told the people that are in Dolton go to instruction.
I can't even hear what he's saying anyway.
And these kids and teenagers can do the same thing that you're trying to do to BP Capital, but it's just about money. I can tell you, just as long as Jesus Christ is here, some corruption may be on the scene.
Oh, get out of here. Kick rock. This is so gross.
I ain't worried about it. Hey, you better go on somewhere, man. Right.
What the heck? Who is this?
All right, talking about boys. Let's go. We're giving away 6 houses just to get $30,000 back. But if any unforeseen penalty that ain't even spelled out goes wrong, we owe this man $270,000. I'm just trying to see the math here. How is that beneficial? And you said all the mayor has to do is not interfere just for us to get $30,000 back. And that's just total, not just $30,000 each house, but $30,000 for 6 of them, and one sold for $147,000.
Okay.
Yeah, their profit is crazy.
Right. Yeah. So therefore, the clauses are in there to protect their rights, just like you have the union to protect your rights.
And here's my question. I'm glad you said that. So I don't even mean to be disrespectful. Let me say this. What you saying that you just said is to protect us. You are supposed to be protecting us.
I did.
Yeah, BP Capital invested on 2 different programs with the same lawyer. It's a conflict of interest there. 38 properties on the right by Attorney Murphy. BP Capital is 38 properties, so we got to pay $45,000 penalty fee if we lose the 38 properties or the 6 properties.
But it's the same company.
Okay. So $45,000.
What? This is so
for
complicated
So
to me
all the
over a
law
company
and I
that
talk about is
sounds
questionable
like
when
a
you put stuff
pyramid
like
scheme.
this in place. It's questionable. He had a long speech about how bad their finances is for the village, but yet still you pass something where you got to get a $45,000 penalty if you cut it. That's crazy. No, 6 houses. If you cut 8 houses in West Dolton, not true. There's a $45,000 penalty.
You don't have to do it.
If we cut the property, if we cut the contract, I know you have to do it. Please. If you cut the contract, is it a $45,000 penalty? Yes or no? Attorney Murphy?
Yes, per house.
Per house. So we keep saying it's not true. It is. Try to be I don't care about your taxes.
$45,000 penalty per house. So far, I've heard 38 and then 6. What's that? This 44? But the penalty will be 45 grand per house. Only for them to get back 30,000 total for 6 of them. 30 divided by 6 is 5. It's like getting $5,000 back per house. But you pay a $45,000 penalty if you don't give it to them. Is that what I'm hearing?
Just under 6, but it's the same company.
Okay. So $45,000 for the properties. So all the love and care that y'all talk about is questionable when y'all put stuff like this in place. It's questionable. He had a long speech about how bad their finances is for the village, but yet still you pass something where you got to get a $45,000 penalty if you cut it. That's crazy. No, 6 houses. If you cut 8 houses,
okay,
not true. There's a $45,000 penalty.
You don't have to do it.
If we cut the property, if we cut the contract, I know you have to do it. Please. If you cut the contract, is it a $45,000 penalty? Yes or no? Attorney Murphy?
Yes, per house.
Per house. So we keep saying it's not true. It is. Try to be I don't care about your taxes.
So how do you sit up there and say that's not true when the attorney turns around and said it is? I mean, how do you can't lie about it. It's in the contract. It's in black and white. What are we doing? We don't distort reality. Facts are not our opinions. Facts are facts. Laws are laws. The end. I mean, just certain things that we have to agree on to be factual or to be evidenced. Our opinions are debatable, but not facts. And the last time I checked, 3 plus 3 is still 6. Not the color orange. What is the reason to lying about something so simple like that? What was the reason for that? There's no reason to lie about something so simple. It was a simple question. Fundamental reading. This math is blowing my mind.
$45,000 per house. Nah, I'm done. 2 points of it. Mayor, could you please get control, please, so that everyone can hear this? Mayor? Go ahead, trustee. Because you're bringing up irrelevant information that does not pertain. No, trustee. Mayor, can
No, math is relevant. Math is relevant. Say LLC, we should do a live about Carnival Cruise and what's going on with the company. Yeah, email me. If there's a lawsuit, you guys know I will read it. Okay, thank you, Shara. His name was Muhammad, the one that was cussing and going off talking about go to hell and all that. His name was Trustee Muhammad. All I hear is rain, no fireworks. Oh man, lucky you. What the heck, Shara? I swear folks are crazy. I know, right? Yeah, email me about the Carnival Cruise. Tomorrow we're gonna do Wendy Williams. That was requested. It's at home. I know. Oh God. I should have just fast forward to him because I don't owe him that listen. I can't stand that 10 man from the Weasley. The houses who are vacant, there's actually 39 properties BP is contracted with. Riley will not approve permits, hold things at a standstill. So that's what's happening in here. They taught to lie the same way they exploit the poor. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. No, it was someone lied about the penalty for each house and said that's not true. And then the attorney said, no, it is 45,000 per house. So I don't know who said no, that's not true, but the attorney just had to correct them on the penalty per house. That's what was being asked. So that's what he's talking about when he said lying. Dwayne Muhammad, Valerie Stubbs. Who's the guy on the other end that stood up? That was the same guy, Muhammad? Are we watching the same meeting? Is it? I don't know. Maybe it's two separate meetings together. I don't know. Okay. All right, let's get back to it.
Attorney Murphy?
Yes, per house.
Per house. So you keep saying it's not true. It is true. I don't care about your taxes. If you cared about that, you wouldn't have us paying $45,000 per house. Nah, I'm done. 2 points of Mayor, could you please get control, please, so that everyone can hear this, Mayor? Go ahead, Trustee. Because you're bringing up irrelevant information. Trustee, Mayor, can I finish, please? Can I finish, please? Can I finish, Mayor? There has been criticism that we paid an attorney $5,000 to get the taxes waived on the 6 properties, which came up to $30,000. BP Capital is agreeing to come in and pay the $30,000 back to the village, along with any outstanding water bill, $30,000, which is $5,000 per house. The 6 that are listed, and the attorney mentioned that he doesn't have an address. There is an exhibit which shows the 6 properties in question.
BP Capital was in court, and he would have been here tonight. He had death in the family. So to make sure that the village received their $30,000 back.
He must have many deaths in the family. Did he ever show up at a meeting?
We asked BP Capital, would he take on that project, consider at least a couple of the people that have put in applications that are still interested in the program to purchase those houses at a minimum cost. He used our counsel, Attorney Murphy, until Attorney Murphy actually came up with a suggestion, because I was in court too. Am I correct, Attorney Murphy?
Finish your statement, then I'll
Yes.
Yeah, he's not gonna just agree to half of what you just said. Yeah, no, that was a smart move on him.
That she would, that she could present those the last 2 years, last year, whatever would be. It's gonna take her 2 years.
Finish your statement.
I'm asking the clerk, not the mayor, because she would be doing it. And additional fees for reconnection will apply. So again, it's a matter of correcting the infrastructure of our payment center to make it right. But in the meantime, we're not losing any money for that 1003.
I recall one time. I don't receive personally read notices. This is your final warning that your water is going to be cut off. We don't give those to the residents. So Fridays. I stand.
There's so much interference by some of the trustees over in that water department. There was a lot of confusion over there. And when this new board gets in, there's going to be some changes. I'm going to be very honest with you.
Capitals.
The mayor was not happy with
the
them.
6 houses that you just vetoed. That was for the 6 invest in Dolton houses and give us the $30,000 back.
And the water bill.
Well, I thought you said it was 2 different programs.
It is.
Okay.
I'm talking about what you just, is that what you just vetoed?
I vetoed the Invest in Dalton and the BP Capital Agreement. But as we went, the First Amendment, and as we went forward, you kept saying, well, there's 2 different programs. So why is BP Capital agreeing to give us $30,000 on Invest in Dalton section side when supposedly it was 2 different programs, and that attorney represented those 6 Invest in Dalton houses? And
so we could have done that.
Hold on. Clerk,
This is why is this so convoluted?
Or the board of trustees. Quit backpedaling and saying what we should have done. We do your job and have any minute reference. That's unacceptable.
Oh my God!
It's unacceptable to me,
Lord.
Trustee Henyard, was when this board passed a resolution directing me to pass 2 years worth of closed session minutes, which I did prepare and present, and you did not even bother to read them.
I correct you, tell you what it is. I ask you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And up to what you think it is.
All right.
What I'm asking you, let's get back to what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is your job now. You should have had the minute prepared because you, Trustee Muhammad, wanted.
Okay, the one thing I did not like, in what I did observe from the previous, like the earlier meetings when she was just a trustee, is this mayor would let her talk and go on, and it's like he was almost scared to interrupt her. Or, he was so hesitant about it. It's like, just take the mic off or something. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? They just dominating the conversation and dancing around the whole topic altogether, and still no one walks away with a good understanding of what's happening anyway. He was just like, he was so hesitant and so scared, like he was scared of it. Oh God, it's annoying. Yeah, this is what happens when you let people start off doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and then they further that on when they become mayor. Oh my God. As you all can tell, I don't care for her, and I don't have any respect for her. The end. Not at all. Don't care. I owe her nothing. She doesn't pay my bills, doesn't have to raise my kids. I owe her nothing.
To basically approve what he said in the back.
A general obligation bond?
Yes.
And it's being paid back how?
Through taxation.
I know, but is that a tax levy?
Yes, of course.
Which means that the tax has to be raised again. I make a motion to table this and let the new incoming board vote on this, because I don't want to raise the taxes of these residents anymore with mismanagement of paying water. And now we're talking about another bond coming in.
You already raised the taxes, don't you remember?
Yeah, because of misappropriation of funds of water not being paid for over a year, Mayor. That's why we had to do it. Because under your administration, since you brought it up, under your administration, the water bill had not been paid for over 1 year. And if you multiply 200 and something,
isn't he on the administration as well? Aren't you a trustee in this administration? I mean, let's call a spade here. You're serving as a trustee in the same administration. You're saying to him, in your administration, aren't you on it? Aren't you sitting up here as a trustee? What are we doing? Let me tell y'all something. What I will not do is sit here and allow anyone to contort reality for me. I know what I'm seeing here. We're all witnessing this man sit up here as a trustee in this administration. Why is he referring to the administration as your administration, as if he's not a part of it? What are we doing? What are we doing? Yes. Oh God. Okay, let's get back to it.
$10 a year. You can see why we were in debt to the city of Chicago
because of you.
I'm very interested in the flea market. For the last 3 years, I worked with the flea market. I was a faithfully worker.
Yeah, look at that hair.
It gives me something to do.
When the trustees come up with these particular plans for housing programs, what role do you play in reference to helping them to create the plans, or do you play any role at all?
At one time, Henyard had an army.
No, Trustee Henry said she was in my office explaining this to me. I don't recall that. And I can recall one trustee telling me, Mayor, we ain't got to meet with you because we got to vote.
What?
What role can I play? If you had a house that had some value, would you give it away for free? Well, we just gave, according to the documents, the interest of close to 400 vacant houses off to one developer.
Wow.
And then you turn around and you sell it for $147,000, and then that
they
house
get the profit.
Goes to the attorney's law partner's son. I'm not trying to criticize Trustee Henry.
If you take a home and someone buys it at $5,000 and then they flip it and they sell it for $100,000, they've gotten how much in a profit? Because math. So they were getting these homes little to nothing, and then they were fixing them up, I guess, and then resell them for over $100,000. That profit, how does that go back to the village of Dolton again? We're doing math here. Math. Simple math. Just math. Where did that profit go? Let's be honest about that. Where did the profit go? The profit didn't go back to the village. It stayed with the developer. Because that's how it works. So how much of that did the village of Dolton see once BP Capital decided to flip the house? I'm just using logic here. Basic common sense logic and math. This is insane. And it's just convoluted for no reason. What is this little girl talking about on the phone? Oh, God.
Trying to do something for the residents, I understand it. But if you're going to try to do something for the residents, why make your residents pay $5,000 and then get the investor a house for free or for $1?
Where I'm getting at with this, Mayor, because I don't want to lose my frame of thought, and I'll allow you to do your editorial in a minute. But her program, it wasn't a bad program, but again, it seems like majority of the programs that are being put out there, including...
Hold on. Cher is muted. What happened? Cher, can you... Can you leave a comment? When I click on here, it just says, it gives me 3 options: to delete comment, put user in timeout, ban user, and delete their comments. Can you remove her from timeout? Saint said she had her phone in her pocket. Cher, are you here? She's also a mod. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, no, even if people disagree with me, I definitely it was a mistake. Your phone was in the pocket. I don't have the option to unmute her. Not in StreamYard. If you're able to come back out and into this live stream, share, please do so. Oh man, that sucks. Hold on. Let me see if I can, because I don't, I try my best not to. Yeah, she's a moderator. I don't have, even on my YouTube studio, it's not giving me an option to like unmute her. It's not showing that she's muted on YouTube's end either. It just says brainstorm video ideas, remove, report, hide user from channel, always approve comments from user, add user as managing moderator, remove user as standard moderator. So she is a moderator here. Ah, man. My apologies, Sheriff, if you can hear. Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's going to think I did it on purpose. No. Sheriff, you can hear still. Saint accidentally timed you out. So I don't know how long that lasts. YouTube Studio is not letting me. It's not giving me an option to remove her from timeout, and even on StreamYard, it's only giving me 3 options, and that's to delete comment, put user in timeout, ban user, and delete their comment. So hopefully it just kind of, I don't know. Just try to leave a comment. If not, send me an email, share. But it certainly was an accident. And all my mods, you guys are pretty good with letting me know if you have to remove someone or mute them or something like that, because I want you guys to always feel like you can voice your opinions here, even if they're different from mine. I mean, it is what, But my apologies, Cher. Saint apologizes. It was an accident. She accidentally put you on timeout. That was not meant to happen. All right, let's get back to it. Hopefully she'll be able to get back to commenting again.
The BP Capital Invest Dolton, the block by block. But as mayor, you also have a responsibility to kind of put an input instead of making it seem as if they're standing on their own. As our mayor,
people ask, how did Tiffany
what do you mean?
Mayor? This is how.
You have to, it seems as if that you should also provide some sort of input. You have resources. Caution before going to this particular meeting. Take your boxing gloves and a Xanax.
Okay. And you vote against everything and interfere in everything. Now, this has been tabled, and we're not going to discuss it any further. Next thing,
you want to discuss it. We'll let your new board deal with this, because I don't think we need to raise these taxes anymore.
You got it all screwed up now. That's why we have to.
On the roll call by Trustee Muhammad, second by Trustee Stubbs, to table ordinance number 19-007. Trustee Muhammad.
Aye.
Trustee Stubbs. Aye. Trustee House.
No.
Just 2 more meetings.
Trustee Denton.
He said just 2 more meetings.
No, I'm sorry, Trustee Henry.
I would ask for approval of the minutes.
Yeah, this meeting is zesty.
For the regular board meeting of February 19th, 2019.
Yes.
Where are we going?
Madam Clerk, I sent you a note over the weekend. Hopefully you saw about today concerning minutes of item F, update on Melanie Fitness Center. Will these minutes go into the record as stated? That's on our desks.
Yes, trustee, I did receive your memo.
As I stated to you in email, I will vote no on these minutes because that is not an accurate distillation of what occurred on that particular date. So my vote tonight will be no, and I just let the public know why I'm voting no, because it's not accurate of the responses that went back, and that's for the record. My vote is no on that.
You can vote no. You can vote no when the vote is taken.
Mayor, I would like to defer the rest of this.
This is something else, y'all.
Trustee
These
Muhammad,
older meetings are something else.
He would like to ask.
Can I be recognized, Mayor?
Go ahead.
Could you explain to me and the public and this board why my water was cut off? I'm not on any cutoff list. So when I went into the water department and asked,
they cut his
I was
water
told
off.
that you were reached out to. It was apparently a clerical error, and my water, as we speak, has been turned off, and it is not on as we speak. Can you give me the update on that and what happened?
From what I was told, it was on the shutoff sheet, and they didn't just do two.
This doesn't feel like a thing that was just done accidentally. I'm getting vibes that it's like one of those big middle finger moments. He cut his water off.
Two specific
bad
houses
as hell.
there. Some houses on the 5-4 block, the 5-5 block, and the 5-6 block of Monroe. So they were out up and down the whole area.
Okay.
So, however, next door does it, if it's a clerical error, that would be on their side. I have no control of making up any of the shut-off list or anything that comes from next door. So,
Sheriff, please know that it was not purposeful that you were timed out. Please know that. Saint, thank you for letting her know that. She said, I swear it was an accident. I'm sorry. I feel so bad. Yeah, I've done that accidentally myself as a mod. It happened on Dear Woke Christian channel. So yeah, trust me, I man, it sucks because I don't believe in stifling free speech. So Cher, I hope you're able to come back in and get back to commenting. I don't know how long those timeouts last. How you doing, Magnolia Peach? How you doing? Happy 4th. Don't mind the boom noises in the background. It's fireworks. Ugh. Go to bed. Go to bed. My whole life thinks I'm being popped up in here in my house. Oh my God, I'm late to the party. Yeah, it's okay. We're checking out public ops. Shout out to public ops. And this BP Capital thing that just seems to be more complicated and somehow defying math than anything else. I don't get it. God.
I would say, you'd have to address it with them because I have no control of that.
And
all we do is we go out, we shut off what's on our list.
Okay, and I appreciate your response. And I did do that. I thoroughly checked with the supervisor. I checked with the person that originates the list. I checked with the department head, and nowhere was my address or the address across the street. And we talk about only one block. My block, 154th Minerva, was on that list. And
you know what? I would appreciate it. This former mayor Riley Rogers. Yeah, if he would have just said, you know what, I had your water cut off. You can kiss my ass. Oh man, that would have been epic. It definitely feels purposeful. It does not sound. I don't discern that this was an accident. I feel it in my spirit that he meant to do this, and he probably walked away giving that water bill a middle finger as the mayor Riley Rogers decided to have this man's water cut off. He's like, yeah, buck back. He mad as hell.
You're saying that your crew turned off my water because my name and address or whatever was on that list for cutoff today.
Whatever you want to believe.
The address, and when they send it over to us, they show the amount of how much is owed. We shut it off. That's it.
Okay, again, I'll state for the record, and we'll follow up on this. But according to the water department, all the persons involved, my name and address was not on a cutoff list for today. It wasn't for last week or the week before. They went back all the way to January. There was no cutoff for Dwayne Muhammad, who resides at 15443 Minerva Avenue. And I know in the past you have said that sometimes they give you the wrong address. But according to the persons working at the department, my name was not even on the list. My address was not on the list.
He mad as hell.
Happened is if it was written on the list. And because you receive what's called a typewritten list or a computer generated list. And for that to happen, it had to be written in. So for the record, we will follow up on this at the next board meeting. And I would hope, Mayor, that something would happen for this type of thing to happen, because I don't know if it happens to residents on a regular, but I've never had my water cut off. And it's awfully convenient that the water is being cut off now this time. So hopefully by the next board meeting, we'll have an answer. But I talked with the department head.
Y'all look at Riley Rogers
and the clerk that actually generates the list, and nowhere was my address.
Riley Rogers sitting there like, yeah, just keep on talking. Just keep on talking, man. You thought you had some balls. Oh, okay. This trustee just going in, he just running 1,000 words a minute. Roger sitting there like, yeah, yeah, I did that shit. He's like, yep. Yeah, y'all just let him cry it out. He'll be all right. He had this man water cut off. Come on, man.
Address on any list that was distributed to your department.
Okay. I want to remind you that several meetings ago, you said
I don't give a fuck about how you feel.
Bill. And so I guess
look at that, he's just mocking him.
Y'all, you did intentionally pay your water bill somehow, some way. Maybe there was a follow-up, and you wound up on the list.
Y'all, he lied like hell.
Sure that's exactly what happened, but
we're going to find out because, again, as I stated, and I'll state it again since you responded, Mayor.
Y'all, this is just such a boss man move. He's sitting here like, yeah, you said you was not going to pay it intentionally, so, you ended up on the list because that's what you said. So, your water got cut off. Can y'all not see the humor in this? This is funny as hell to me. It looks like the attorney and the mayor are sitting there just laughing it in. The village clerk got her head down because she's just like, I'm gonna laugh about this when I get home with my 12 cats. I'm gonna have a good laugh when I get home after this damn meeting right here. This is epic. He meant to do that shit.
According to the
you just asked me.
According to the department head, and according to the supervisor and the clerks that work there, my address was not on the list of cutoffs. It was not on any list.
Okay, for your input.
So
Next,
stupid, man.
you done, Trustee Stubbs?
They are petty.
Pearson's not here. Finances, Trustee Muhammad.
Thank you, Mayor.
Raleigh.
Finance report after reviewing the February financial statements that we want to make aware to the public and this board.
Okay, next thing, corporate bills.
He's like, whatever, next.
Thank you, Mayor. I have corporate bills, but before, I'll do that during discussion.
Any discussion?
Yes. I sent an email out to all board members and department heads. I got response only from one. Of course, that was the chief of police. But it had to do with the gas pump at the Public Works. Mayor, did you receive that email?
Yes, he said
Mayor,
I did.
Did you receive that email?
I did.
Okay, do we have any kind of response on that?
There's been no
So now he being petty.
coverage or misappropriation of the fuel there. I'm not sure what you're looking for, but that's one of the reasons that
He's looking for a reason to retaliate. Let's be honest about this. They both being petty right now. They on petty mode 1,000. All right. Rogers had this man water cut off, and that was just like the biggest F you. Because the BP Capital thing. And then he's sitting here rambling, the trustee talking about your administration like he's not a part of it. Yeah, this is hilarious. Now he want to send an email talking about, I sent you an email. Were you aware of it? I'm sorry, what you say, boy? Speak up. Speaking in the mic. Answer my question. That's exactly what's happening right now. It's just a challenge to see who's got the biggest sack. My sack is bigger than yours, bro. No, it ain't. They might as well be arguing over who's got the biggest ball sack. That's it. That's all I'm hearing. That is all I'm hearing right now. This is crazy.
the dispenser was put in the way it was.
Yeah, I'm laughing my ass off. This is funny.
So each individual that gets gas from that pump has their own numbers and thing to get gas there.
See, my balls are bigger than yours.
Special code.
Okay, and my second question I'm looking for, it had to do with a payment of, I believe, $15,000 to an individual, and it just described the services rendered. Do we have any response on that one?
You just drilling.
I don't even know who that individual is, what the payment was for. You can reach out to our accounting firm.
Okay, I'll read it publicly because I thought I'd get I'll just state it for the record. This is the letter or the correspondence that was written to all board members.
Petty as hell, man. Look at him drinking water.
And there was no charge of pilferage. What has been put in place since my inquiry from last year that we know for sure there is no pilfered gas When the question was asked of all department heads, there was no definitive answer to the accountability of access to this gas tank and some type of log system of all users. I believe the IT department was on top of this issue, but the outcome has not been presented to the board. Lastly, could someone explain the payment to Watson Wesley Williams for services rendered of $15,722?
Now he just going in on every little thing. This is pettiness overload. My ball sack is bigger than yours. That's it. Just want everybody here in the village of Dolton to know in this board meeting tonight that I have the bigger sack than he does. They said they're asking each other questions like they're children. Did you clean your room today, young man? Did you clean your room? I did. I'm sorry, what you say? I did. Get out of here. It's not fair.
Your cooperation is greatly appreciated. So for the second response, if I don't know who Mr. Watson Wesley Williams is, I cannot vote for that allocation of $15,000. So I make a motion and with advice of counsel. How can we do that? Do we take 2 votes or do we vote for it minus the $15,722 to this individual Watson Wesley Williams? And there was no description of work that was rendered.
The best way to do that is that if you're otherwise satisfied, vote yes with the exception of that line item.
That would be my motion.
No, Dwayne, you made a motion to approve the bills. So the whole bills are in front of the floor. So when it comes time to your vote, exclude the items you want excluded.
Okay, but can we just do that at one sweep? Or we have to do them separate?
No, yeah, I mean, the motion is to pay all the bills.
Yes.
You'll vote yes except for line item,
I got
whatever
you.
it is, and everybody else
Got you.
will vote.
Okay, so let me amend that motion. And
Okay,
I make a motion to pay the bills minus the
No. To keep the present motion on, and then when the roll call is, you will vote yes, except
Is
I
this
vote no
his
for that
first
line.
day as a trustee?
Okay, so my motion stands, Madam Clerk.
Are we still open for discussion?
Oh my God.
Watson, Wesley, and Williams is not personally an individual. It's an attorney. It's a law firm. It's an invoice from 2017. It's in reference to John Franklin versus Dolton, cases Burge and Remus for professional services that are rendered.
Oh man.
Page itemized list of services.
Billable hours.
Well, since you have the bill, can you apprise us, Mayor, of what's involved? Because this is a 2-year
Apprise
bill.
us.
I mean, you said it's concerning our former police chief, Franklin.
I just got it. I just got clarification from.
Hey, can you apprise us of what you have in your hand? This itemized statement for billable hours from the law firm. Can you apprise us of this? You know, we would all love to be apprised today. We need the apprisement of this bill. Apprise us. Did you clean your room? I told you this is nothing but an ego show. They throwing barbs at each other. He's using big words for no reason. Apprise us of the bill. Wilt thou apprise us of thy invoicing and charges that thou hast come upon from the law firm of all these people you just named? Go to bed.
You can provide a memo for next meeting. This
Okay,
was was a law firm that represented Franklin in a couple of lawsuits against the village that we were required to provide separate counsel because of Franklin's circumstances with the village.
So Franklin had his own lawyer and whip-hand?
It was for cases where
Oh
Franklin
my God.
was being sued based on his Dolton duties, but he was entitled to have a separate lawyer at our corporate expense.
And
Yes.
this is to his attorney. This is the attorney.
This happens.
Okay. Well, again, I'll amend my motion to pay all corporate bills.
Amending Title 3, Chapter 10 of the Village of Dolton Code.
So just, because this is a reaction video, you all. So if you want to see the full video without interruptions in my commentary, Public Ops TV is the man for the plan. All right. Make sure you check out his entire channel and all his great content there. But this is a reaction video, so it is what it is. But this happened as well when Little Super Stupid decided to sue the Dolton District Park for having the village of Dolton having had a meeting there because she was locking everybody out of town hall. So when they went to court, they asked for attorney's fees. And the judge asked, are you all on the payroll or were you outside counsel? And they said, we're outside counsel. And the judge made clear that they did have the right to hire outside counsel because of the situation at hand. No one told this little girl to lock down town hall and to prevent people from having meetings. She chose to do that. So they had the right to, she sued them for the meeting. They, of course, counterclaimed. And when the judge dismissed her dumbass petition, you know, they asked for attorney's fees because they had to go out and get outside counsel. So we can't complain about them getting outside counsel to avoid the appearance of, you know, a conflict of interest. But then when they have to do that because they got sued, she filed the lawsuit against them. And the judge denied her petition, her claim. And then granted the attorneys representing the Dolton Park District their attorney's fees because they went and got outside counsel. So it was permitted in court. And I have that whole hearing on my channel. This is the same thing that happened here. They had to get outside counsel, and that counsel sent an invoice for those billable hours. And this trustee acts as if, Muhammad acts as if this is his first day on the job. While he's sitting here trying to have an ego / ball sack power trip here with the mayor. Because they cut his damn water off.
Cigarette and tobacco dealers. Trustee Pearson is not here.
Point of information, I sent that into Madam Clerk with the assistance of Attorney Murphy and with agreement from Trustee Pearson that this would be presented. But if we could have the attorney present this and just do a summation so we can get a vote on this of the amended language that was put in there from the last meeting. So I make a motion to approve ordinance number 19-002.
Second. I'd like to make a motion to override Mayor's veto ordinance number 19-003.
No, you vetoed the last meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you did.
Good, Trustee Henry.
Thank you. One thing I want to say is, President, when you speak,
oh my God,
you're not factoring how the board listens. You say band together, we band together. We had 6-0 votes, and I just feel that the mayor should veto that. Once the board have agreed on something, it should have.
You can't tell somebody what to do, girl.
The mayor states that we made all this money. We made $2 million in one day. What happened to the money? Why didn't that money go directly to the city of Chicago? And number two, I believe, residents, that you guys should have the opportunity to come and pay us. We should not be turning your water off on a Friday, on a Saturday, or on a Sunday when you have no opportunity to pay us. Now, we open on Saturday, you have opportunity to go pay the bill, but you're not 3 days without any water. I thought that would be fair. I don't think anyone should suffer. We're not the judge, we're executor, we're not God. We all human, people make mistakes.
Oh, Lord, I'm so glad she said that because, you know, the hypocrisy of that. But yet and still, when she became the mayor, she just forgot all of that. That just all went out the window. You know, funny how this did not age well for her. Not at all. Not even a little bit. You're not an executor or God or anything. But yet no one sat here. You know what? Let me take that back. Half the planet tried to get her to understand those simple concepts that she just spit out. Because I guess it sounds good to say, but not to do. What's good for me was not for thee. The hypocrisy of this is staggering, little girl. Super stupid. You got court here. You had court hearings this week. What the hell are you doing? I can't take her seriously. I just can't. Oh man. All right.
Sometimes people are at work and turn their water off. But when they get home, they have to spend a day without any water. So we all human. I think that order should stand. The board agreed with me, and they all voted unanimously, and we all stood strong with basically keeping the water on and not shutting it off on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay?
We're under a court order decree to pay the city of Chicago. There's no other village and no other utility company that does not shut water off on Friday, or do not shut the utilities off on Friday. They do shut the utilities off on Friday. And usually when that happens, is the resident or the customer has been notified that they're eligible for disconnection. I feel the humane. Feel the humane side too. But when you're talking about being delinquent for a couple of months or more, and the individual has a right to come in and make payment arrangements, and that's not done. I mean,
you only bill once every 3 months.
It's absolute. We have to create revenue here to pay our bills.
First, I agree 100% with Trustee, and to add to this.
Yeah, he does because he's mad.
That when they cut off my water, apparently I'm going to give it that it's a clerical error. I'm just going to give it the benefit of the doubt.
No, bro.
That was blessed to be able to come in and drop $489 and pay the what's called the waiver fee, which I believe is $75.
He's so mad.
Infrastructure is not together over there. The superintendent of public works stated himself on more than one time that they've given addresses that are wrong addresses. They have to go back, turn the water back on that they turned off. Mayor, you're conflating two things. And I'm intimately involved with this, along with Attorney Murphy and also former finance person Yvonne Redmond and Trustee Pearson. We have an agreement with the city of Chicago. It's totally separate from this. The levy was raised for one large payment per month from the village of Dolton to the city of Chicago, goes directly to them from our taxes. We pay our regular bill on a monthly basis, which is a little over $200,000 a month. This does not affect it at all. What we have to do is get our infrastructure together across the street at the payment center so that we don't continue to have these mistakes where individuals' water is cut off by accident or clerical error.
No. He meant to do that shit. I'll let Muhammad. I'll let him have this one now. But Riley meant to do that. He meant that. Good luck to that shower, bitch. No, he's mad. It's funny. But yeah, no, he's mad because who wants to be without water? But no, he meant to do that. Riley meant to do that shit. This was not an accident. He's sitting there just kind of, he said you weren't gonna pay us or whatever. Oh man, this is hilarious.
Or whatever, but this ordinance simply waives Friday. They don't cut off water Saturday or Sunday. The public works generally works Monday through Friday, unless, like it says in the ordinance, it's an emergency or, as you mentioned before, some type of a water main break. But generally speaking, it's Monday through Friday. All we're doing is waiving on Friday so people can have water for the weekend. Thank God my water was cut off, but according to policy, I'm assuming my water will not be on until Wednesday because they say it's 48 hours that your water is actually turned back on when it's cut off.
That's incorrect.
Oh, he ain't gonna be able to take no bath.
According to what I was told. And I did this today. And if you would like to examine the stamp on the receipts, I was informed today that when your water is cut off, it takes 48 hours to turn your water on. So naturally, if somebody's got their water cut off on a Friday, they may not get their water cut on until Monday. So I understand the importance of this, but it's not like we're losing money. The money is going directly to the city of Chicago from the county come August of this year and every August for the next 10, 15 years, along with the regular payment that we pay every month to the city of Chicago. And it's not about generating revenues. It's coming directly out of the water fund. It has nothing to do with generating revenue because that money is strictly for the payment of water, sewer, and garbage under the water fund.
It has to be collected. The revenue has to be collected. And why when we put out
about that,
we're turning off water 7 days a week, why do we have an influx of residents and customers coming in and paying their water bill? It's a shame that sometimes you have to put a thread out there of disconnection, whether it's in the other utility companies do it too. Gas company, light company, they send you a disconnect notice. They give you a certain period of time when it's going to be turned off. And if you don't pay it or make payment arrangements, they turn it off.
Well, Mayor, we're not giving any kind of notice. I have my bill right here. The only notice we get is on the side. Any past due balance is subject to shut off, and additional fees for reconnection will apply. We no longer send out any notices on red paper, just as Commonwealth Edison does, just as NICOR does. So again, it's a matter of correcting the infrastructure of our payment center to make it.
Do the other utilities truly send out red paper notices? Do they actually do that? Is that literal? Does that happen? That didn't happen down here. I don't know. I mean, I can't. I don't live up there in Village of Dolton. So, is that what happens? I'm asking here genuinely. Do the other utility companies send a red letter notice saying that they're about to disconnect? Because none of the utility companies here in my state send any red paper at all. They would send white paper with red letters on it, big bold red letters, due for disconnection or subject to disconnection, but not red paper. Is that truly what the other utility companies do? Come now. Can you apprise us of that process, Muhammad? Because, reasons.
You're right, but in the meantime, we're not losing any money for that one Friday.
Oh my God!
Getting their water cut off so they won't have water for the weekend. So my vote still stands yes to override Mayor veto.
I recall one time myself standing over there while they called Public Works to turn this particular gentleman's water off because he was doing a repair. He paid to $75. His mother was in the hospital. She was getting out the next day. He came back to pay another reconnecting fee of $75, and they gave him the flux about turning the water back on. Finally, before the lady got out the hospital, the water was turned back on. Or you have confusion with the estimated bill. A lot of seniors don't understand that the bill is being estimated when they're at the doctor's office or wherever they're at. Didn't let nobody in because most of the meters are located on the inside as opposed to the outside. And that's not their fault. That's our fault. And therefore, they receive an estimated bill. They pay the small portion. And 3 months later, they get this high bill and can't afford to pay it. So we have to look at what we haven't done either. This is a two-way street on that. So I'm in favor of not turning the water off on Friday because it's so
yeah, because they really mad about that BP Capital thing that everything else now has to be affected. Y'all, this is something else. I noticed when she's talking, she's just kind of like looking like at the mic or something. Whatever she's fixated on, she is fixated on it. She has not blinked. Yeah, but the water being disconnected on Fridays, I mean, yeah, it does suck. It's inhumane, but any other utility company probably would do the same thing. And just the simple concept of paying your bill and putting the money back into the village. I mean, how long has that gone on? Decades. So, just it seems to be more antagonistic than anything else, especially when things aren't going their way. Not saying these two in particular, but in general, people get antagonistic. So they go against the grain on every little thing after they've realized, oh, I'm not getting my way on this one thing here that I really, really want to happen. So now I'm going to be antagonistic in everything else. I'm not going to vote on nothing. Even if it's no logic, doesn't make sense. I'm still going to say no. Whatever the issue is, if he's saying yes, I'm going to say no. If he says no, I'm going to say yes. They just antagonize. They're just doing the opposite of whatever it is that the mayor is trying to do because they're mad at him. They're mad at him. I mean, it's just at this point, there's no logic to that because that's not how utility companies operate. In a normal, in our normal realm of reality, you can't tell the other utility companies, well, you all need to not cut off my gas or my power on Fridays. Give me till Monday to pay. When is the due date? Whatever day that falls on, that's it. Unless you have a payment arrangement, whatever day that falls on. Yeah, that's how that works. It just because it is. It's just a simple fact. All right. Okay, we're gonna finish this off.
So many discrepancies when it comes to the billing, and then not to receive a cutoff notice because, as the other trustee stated,
sticky nuts.
I don't receive personally read notices, but you receive read notice that this is your final warning that your water is going to be cut off. To my understanding, we don't give those to the residents. So I stand with not turning the water off on Fridays.
But I think there was so much interference by some of the trustees over in that water department. There was a lot of confusion over there. And when this new board gets in, there's going to be some changes. I'm going to be very honest with you. And we're going to get this thing right. I asked to hire water meter readers so we wouldn't have so many estimated bills. That was voted against. We didn't hire the water meter readers.
See? Antagonistic.
We're going to be on the correction path next time. Okay, I hereby veto resolution number 19R-007.
Just being antagonistic.
Redevelopment agreement with BP Capital Corporation. The village shall not be involved in any further matters with BP Capital. Invest in Dolton is a bad deal for the village. In addition, it is wrong for outgoing board to attempt to bind the incoming board for some 2 years. Long-term agreements need to be made by the board, which will be responsible for administrating and funding any such matters. I respectfully request that the village board uphold my veto at the next regular board meeting.
Wow.
So this one is on for the public.
Yeah, that'll affect for next meeting, and then same with item D.
Right. Next thing on the agenda is item D. Approval of the insurance broker consultant agreement with Insure Source. My mayoral veto. I hereby veto the action of the board approving the agreement for professional services for the insurance broker consultant agreement. Cliff Taylor Insure Source LLC. This agreement obligates the village to retain the broker services with this firm for another 2 years. It is wrong for an outgoing board to attempt to bind the incoming board for some 2 years. Long-term agreements need to be made by the board, which will be responsible for administering and funding any such matters. I respectfully request the village board to uphold my veto at the next regular board meeting. I'm signing this today. Block by block program, Trustee Henry. Trustee Henry, you there? Exactly what is the block by block program?
Pretty much it's a program designed to have the community get more involved in purchasing the property that the village will obtain the vacancy. Pretty much currently now, it's one side is for unoccupied, the other side is for investors.
Okay. Go ahead. The clerk, Madam Clerk has a question.
Yes, I noted that Trustee Henyard, in previous description of the BP Capital Program, noted that it was exclusive, that the agreement with BP Capital was exclusive, meaning that the village was not free to purchase properties outside of that agreement with BP Capital. So I would ask the village attorney to clarify whether that is the case.
Well, that's what we have with BP. Whether that agreement's going to continue is a different story.
Sure.
Right, but it's what's in place right now.
Presented that outline that we're talking about. I put together a document which I thought explained it so that everybody on the board would understand what it is. That document, I recall a few meetings ago, the board tabled it. So now I don't know what the board's voting on.
This is saying, this is
block by
insane.
block was tabled to the planning committee.
Well, what's going on is it's in your package. I don't know what game y'all playing right now, but it's in your board package, Attorney Murphy. And you know,
It's not a game. It's called having a contract where the houses were to be purchased through that BS contract with BP Capital. So even if you're trying to sell it to residents or individuals, if it's not going through BP Capital, then you're violating the contract agreement. I mean, BP Capital seems like a pyramid scheme. They're naming consulting companies that sound like shell companies. I mean, it just all sounds ridiculous either way. That's my opinion on it. But you still have that contract in place, which would hold weight in the court of law. Something she doesn't even care about. Because, you know, she gets sued all the time. Isn't that what she said? If this is how she thought as a trustee, what would make anyone think it would change or get better as a mayor? Come on now. Come on now. This is insanity. And she still didn't really explain it other than it being what sounds like it would violate a contract agreement with a pyramid scheme company. BP Capital sounds like it just sucks. It is what it is.
also you have the outline of the block by block on your desk.
Right, which I included, Trustee Henyard.
Okay, so that's what we're voting on. So what's the question?
My first question was whether or not we could do it at
Will it
all
violate
because
the
of the BP
contract?
Capital agreement, which, as you said yourself, was exclusive, meaning that we were bound to work with BP Capital and no other organization. But as a procedural matter, the village.
Is she not understanding the question, or is she just being an idiot? I don't get it. The village clerk is asking you, little girl, in this video, can we even do that because of our exclusive contract with BP Capital? It's that simple. It's that simple. No one needs to go into a hardcore debate about it. It's a simple question. And it's a matter of her understanding the damn contract agreement that she claimed to be exclusive. Who would do that? Why would you make it exclusive to one company? So if something goes wrong, you're still stuck with this BP Capital pyramid schemish type of company where you still have to go through them to even facilitate the purchasing of a home in the village of Dolton because of their contract agreement. Why limit it to one? Why make it exclusive? What was the purpose of doing that?
Attorney reminded me that this matter was tabled by the board to the planning committee, and it has not yet been reported out by the planning committee.
One of the questions I had, I think, remembering a portion of this block by block program, you wanted to have the investors pay $1,000 for the property and then have the residents pay $5,000. When you think this would go forward, it should be switched around where the residents would pay the smaller amount rather than the investors? Yes.
That's not what that paperwork said. You just read and cited very clearly. I'm pretty sure you read that correctly.
I did.
It says other houses, 3 houses, and the other side says $5,000 for the house. And it breaks it down.
It was what?
So the $300 point blank. So you're saying you don't understand, which I don't believe, but
You can believe whatever you want to. Tell me what.
What? Just say what the hell? What is it? It doesn't matter. What anyone believes has nothing to. This is why I can't listen to her for long, y'all, because it gets stupid. She gets stupid. Why would you allow the investors to be able to purchase it for $1,000, but the homeowner, the resident, purchase it for $5,000? What is the reason for the variation in the price? She didn't answer the question. She's just dancing around it. It's simple math. I told y'all she can't read or do math. She can't read or do math. People get mad at me calling her super stupid when she lives up to the name. Fuck out of here. This is crazy. This is her being a trustee, by the way. Oh, God. Oh, God.
We did not.
Infuriating. Oh, my God.
So I don't even understand how
She still didn't answer it.
Saying what you're saying, that's not understand what's going on. You said $300. You said
Who said how anyone dealt with this?
So the $300
Explain it, little girl.
Because I felt when I wrote this that the investors had the money to do the work. For those are the houses that need the most work. So say instance, need a roof, it needs plumbing, electric, whatever it needs. They might cost over $5,000. The investor had the money to do so. That's why we started with a $20,000 minimum that person had to show in their bank account. Now, as far as the $5,000 house, we put that at that amount for the simple fact that those are cosmetics. That they need a bunch of work or residents can get their hands on $1,000 to do like paint or a floor or something like that, something real simple. So that's why I was structured that way. I didn't flip it because the majority of the time a resident, they working, they got a household to take care of, so they can't afford to come over here and say they need $10,000. They got to put a furnace in, a hot water tank. They can't come up with that kind of money that quickly.
But they should pay $5,000 if it still needs work.
Another avenue that we can gain revenue, and I want to help the residents, but we giving away everything that could bring us some revenue in. You know, I don't see how this is going to work without.
This shit for real.
You know, the exclusive right.
Can we go back to the fact that you said that there was a company that had exclusive rights in a contract agreement to buy the houses, and you're trying to sell it to them for $1,000, but you want the residents to pay $5,000 for it, despite the fact that the home it's still going to need work. Who buys a $5,000 house that needs zero work on it? That might not need a new stove or water heater for $5,000? That home is still going to need a lot of work. Are you fucking kidding me? This can't be for real. I wish I could find a home for $5,000 that will not need a new stove or an oven or a refrigerator or a wall or a roof. For $5,000, that's the total price of you buying the house. Think about this, you all. Think about this for a second. Picture it. Sicily, 1942. You're standing in the land of the village of Dolton, and you're looking at a home, and you want to buy it. Someone told you, as a resident, you only had to spend $5,000, but it will not need anything done to it. Do you really think that the home would be sold if it is a perfectly good house that doesn't need any repairs in it? Because, you know, you can spend $5,000 to buy it, but you damn sure won't have any money to fix it up. And this house is available for a resident, any resident, to buy for $5,000, and it will not need anything done to it. Nothing. Oh my God. Is this real? This can't be real. This can't be real. Even with her being voted out in these old meetings, it's just like, you know, she's just trying to find a way to F with us all. She effing with them. She got to be fucking with them. She has to be. No one tried to sit her down and explain to her how the housing market works, or finance, or, you know, simple mathematics, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, colors, shapes. The fact that a house being sold to someone for $5,000 would probably need an entire floor. Like, why would it be for sale for cheap for $5,000, and then there's nothing wrong with it? Don't you think that those houses would have been sold already if they were $5,000 and they were perfectly well established, well developed, beautiful homes that need zero repairs to it? Don't you think they would not be on the market? This is common sense. Is she that aloof? No wonder she has over 30 lawsuits.
For control of all these
here.
houses.
Well, number one, you just vetoed the VP
Jesus
capital.
Christ. She effing with us.
How you have to work with them, that means they're not there to veto it. Number two, it's a big
Oh my God.
We in the dollar house is we will split. We make money in the village.
Said can't rewrite a man.
We will walk with 25,000 and they'll walk with 75,000. So that's how the village make money off of the property they're giving to investors. And it's not strictly to one investor, it's multiple investors. So say the lady can flow one invest, she can invest. Somebody kid want to invest. If anybody can invest, it's not just one company that's getting all the properties in Dolton.
Well, you know, I believe.
But you have a contract. You have a contract with a company that said they would get the properties in Dolton. Yeah, no, she effing with them. She's effing with them at this point. There is no way in hell. What child? She just effing with everybody at this point, including all of us. Who knew? When was this meeting? 2019 or something? Who knew in the year of our Lord 2025 that our Lady Luck Club would be sitting here watching this video and she's still managing to just fuck with all of us in this meeting here? While she was just a trustee over simple concepts such as housing market and valuations of homes and how much they should be sold for, and having multiple investors spend what, $1,000? You really think that the investors would help the residents buy a home for $5,000 and the home is perfectly fine? Are you fucking kidding me?
The last couple of meetings I talked about these residents investing in Dolton. They see a house is vacant. They take control of them. They're the investors. But when there's an opportunity for us to gain more revenue, I think we should try to do that with the outstanding obligations.
You're not gonna earn any money in this.
Just as BP Capital has taken control of these houses and they're allowing people to rehab them. And then that first one sold for $147,000 that needed very little work. So, they profited probably close to or over $100,000 on that one house. If we did the same thing and we just say we took control of 100 houses and we had them rehabbed and we sold them. And then we get the $100,000 per house. If you sold 100 houses, you're looking at $10 million.
But Mayor, the issue is me and you are saying the same exact thing.
No, you're not. No, you're not. The devil is a liar. You're not saying the same exact thing. You're saying that multiple investors are going to help the residents spend $5,000 on a house where the residents who, as you said, would not have the money to buy a furnace or get the roof or the floor fixed, somehow is supposed to let them still have ownership of the home. The residents now have ownership of the home so that the residents can flip the house and earn over $100,000 of profit, because that would go straight to the owner of the property. So unless you're talking about multiple owners of the house, but I mean, if the investor gets to only spend $1,000 on the same house and do the same thing, what makes you think that they're going to also collaborate with residents to spend more money on the house when they themselves can buy for $1,000? They're going to turn around and help the residents buy these same houses for $5,000. It could be the same house. It just depends on who's the buyer. Does this make sense? Like, she literally is effing with them right now on the sheer stupidity of it all. The same house can be sold to the investor for $1,000. And they can earn over $100,000 profit once they flip it. But yet, she's saying that the investors should help the residents spend $5,000 if they wanted the same house. But the actual profit, if they flip the house, because $1,000 or $5,000, those houses are still going to need some work done to it. So you're talking about having to put money into the house being renovated and rehabbed. But the owner is the one that gets to sell and earn the profit. And then she's never answered the question as to whether or not the residents would be able to even do that, because you're talking about an exclusive contractual agreement with BP Capital. So would you be violating the contract if you allowed the residents to buy the houses in the first place? Are you fucking kidding me, girl? This got to be a joke.
You want us to make money. We're saying the exact same thing. That you just said.
Oh my! No, you're not.
We cannot do real estate. That's why we unloaded all our real estate.
No, you can't do real estate or math.
So why would we take on a project when we can't fix one department? We got a lot of.
I'm gonna say, if there was not so much interference here, then maybe we could fix it.
Yeah, there's no interference. It can't just be your way of highway.
It's not.
It can't be her way because her way is not even mathematically sound. It can't be her way either. Her way has zero logic, zero understanding of how to buy and flip a house. The math is not mathing. You know, because 3 times 2 is hangman in her world. It's not even a number. It's an object. I could just go savage right now, but this is just so. This is nothing more than her fucking with them, and the mayor in particular, because you know I guess she wanted to send this message. Look how much more intelligent I am over him, and how much I try to fight for you all, even though I want you all to spend more money on the same damn house that the investors would get for $1,000. You're gonna have to pay $5,000, but hopefully someone will help you invest in that. Good luck to that. What the is going on? People bought that because math. I don't know. It sound good. Just hearing her go back and forth with him. That's all it took. Was her being able to argue back and forth with this man. That's all it took for her to become the next man. And a food box. Are we doing that? No, that's Dolton Township. Never mind. God.
Everybody will be fine. Everybody don't even vote on everything I want, but I still go and talk to everybody. But that's
Oh my God.
Dude,
just cut her off.
That's not true.
I think things will work.
That's not true. There's been so much interference in here. The attorney has wrote a note to these trustees and yourself included in regards to the interference that they did. In regards to the interference that he have done. That some of this board,
he can't even get it out. Come on, man.
Okay, man. We already know that. Let's get back to block by block. Basically, I put a motion up to approve block by block.
No, because it defies math.
Do want it. A lot of people waiting on the property. I would like to move forward with that program. And I would
oh my God.
So, and I would appreciate your support.
Well, I'm not clear on it.
Economic. No, don't clear that.
It's also said there's a lot of questions that hasn't been answered. As far as I know,
of course not.
My last correspondence.
Talk to the board with the trustees. I got their opinion.
I mean, what is this?
What's going on? The village attorney, been talking with him. He wasn't clear on it. He told me this afternoon, earlier today. So I mean,
I talked to the attorney as well about this, and he wrote what he wrote, and I told him that was fine. That's how it came up again. And I had
no, the answer is no, because it defines math. Girl, bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia.
Well, just take a look at this. Okay, I'm reading this. What you have here: free houses / $1 houses, investors, owner occupied houses, $5,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you want to help the residents, why don't you flip it around? You know, these investors are going to make a ton of money on these houses
when they flip them, because that's how math works.
Qualifications for the investor: proof of funds of $20,000, license and bonding contract, a 90-day permit, housing inspections, additional fee if the inspection fails, escrow of $1,000, lottery for investors. Pull the number, lottery for the investors. 75% they get, and we get 25%. The investor must sell the
this
property.
is unbelievable.
Now, on the owner occupied side, or so Dolton
investor
resident
must
side,
sell the property.
you must be a Dolton resident. You must live in a house for 5 years. You must complete repairs within 90 days. 90
90
house
days?
inspections, additional fee if inspections fail.
What kind of shit is that? You must complete the repairs in 90 days. But she just sat there and said, "What if they can't come up with the money to buy a new furnace, or to get the roof fixed, or the floor, or wall, electrical, plumbing?" I can literally name a whole lot of things that might be wrong with the house for sale for $5,000. Are you kidding? And they have 90 days to get it fixed. Did you all see that? This is a trip.
$1,000. License and bonding contract, a 90-day permit, housing inspections, additional fee if the inspection fails, escrow of $1,000, lottery for investors. Pull the number, lottery for the investors. 75% they get, and we get 25%.
Okay, so
the investor must
the return on investment, 75% of it would be to the homeowner or whoever buys the house, and then the village of Dolton gets 25% of that. He's saying we as the village should just buy the house, flip it, and get the full profit to generate revenue, as opposed to 25% for the residents. But yet you want BP Capital or an outside investor to only spend $1,000 or $1. And then if they flip it, they keep the profit. And the village of Dolton don't see any of that.
Sell the property. Now on the owner occupied side, or so Dolton resident side, qualification, you must be a Dolton resident. You must live in the house for 5 years. You must complete repairs within 90 days.
Repairs
permit, house
in 90 days.
Additional fee inspections fail. Escrow 5. This is basically what you're offering the investor.
Oh my God!
But the investor gets the house free or for $1, and the resident has to pay $5,000 for the house.
It's so stupid.
Why don't you let the investor get the house free? I mean, I'm sorry, the resident get the house free or $1 for the house versus them paying $5,000 and the investor gets off with $1 in a free house. That doesn't sound like you're trying to help the resident.
It's not. You got 90 days to get the house repaired.
So they're going to park their money for, say, 60 to 90 days, right? So normally when a person puts their money in a project, they want to see a return on their money. So why would I give them home ownership at $5,000? What I've done was encourage the neighborhood to save their money, which everyone has, so that they have home ownership and don't have.
She's still missing the point. Even if the investor is mandated to sell it, they still get the profit. Dum. He's trying to get the revenue going. So even if the resident buys it at $5,000. They still have to spend money to flip it, and you're only giving them 90 days to make the repair. They get a 90-day permit, and all repairs have to be done in 90 days. What if it does need a roof, and they can't afford to get that? You only giving them 90 days? Why would you put them on a timing restriction here? Even if they get to maintain ownership of the house, they still spending a lot more money up front. But the investor will have to sell it, but then they get to keep the profit? The majority of it either way. What is the benefit to the village? It's so stupid. And who gives someone 90 days to make all repairs on a home that they bought for $5,000 that more than likely would need a lot of repairs? Because it wouldn't be so cheap if it didn't. For fuck's sake. It's so crazy.
No one does that. No one.
I hate stupidity, y'all. I'm sorry. I hate stupidity.
City of Chicago has offered houses for $1, offers lots for $1 to the residents.
Okay.
You know, so
they have same structure.
Okay.
What's crazy is that for you and everybody get that input. You're the only one they gave your input on.
Basically.
So the answer is no.
The qualifications are the same here.
Oh my God.
The $500 difference in escrow for the investor and the $20,000 minimum that they have. That you have to have the investor, which has to be qualified. We need to verify that they have the $20,000. But
yes, is no.
If you're trying to help the resident, why are you charging them $5,000 and charging the investor, giving them the house for free or for $1?
What the hell?
I don't think
he did not. No, you did not.
The resident. So anyway, this board.
No.
How are we going to give these houses away when there's exclusive agreement with BP Capital that has the houses?
Exactly.
I just answered that. You just vetoed that. Did you not?
No. I just vetoed it. And I'm expecting an override on it.
Okay, but you don't.
So it might not even stick.
Right?
Well, then why don't we put this off to 2 weeks then? Why don't we table this again and wait and see what happens on the veto?
I just told you I spoke to the entire board. The entire board has agreed. I don't have any issue. Only you do currently. So that's why I'm asking, can we follow up for my vote?
Okay.
The whole board agree with this?
For the expenditure of village money?
The money will come out of the proceeds. What I did try to do was
what proceeds?
But Murphy told me he didn't want to do anything with removing the back taxes off of the property.
Why?
You should ask him that. He's an attorney. I ain't never seen an attorney turn down any money. So ask him why. Because I thought we was all on the same page. I met with him and Denise, and we all were structuring the program.
Maybe because of the contract with BP Capital.
And all the red flags, all the people were against this, against that. Like, come on.
Where do we get the houses from? How do we get the houses out of possession of BP Capital?
Right.
Again, you just vetoed that, so that means that they cannot get any more property.
It's not, but it's not valid yet.
Giving up 6 properties, but it's not them going after any more vacant properties. So I don't see why we can't go after the vacant properties.
Well, Madam Clerk told me they had 30 properties and going.
30 properties and going? What do you mean?
They continue.
Of course, you don't know what that means.
What, Trustee?
I think the question, and I'm kind of following, BP Capital currently has an exclusive agreement. That was the one that was standing for a while. Yes. And would there need to be an amendment to this motion that BP no longer has exclusivity, or can we do this in conjunction with BP Capital? I think that's
the first question to answer.
The question on the floor. Go ahead,
It is my question, trustee, but as Trustee Henry pointed out, the mayor just vetoed the amendment to the BP Capital Agreement, but the BP Capital Agreement, and that's what I was seeking clarification for, as it's my understanding from reading it and Trustee Henry's own statement, that as long as that BP Capital Agreement stands, and as of now it still stands, including the First
it's still
Amendment,
valid,
which provides for penalty clauses if the board reneges
Keep
on
moving.
that agreement. I don't see that I will take.
Okay, this is like, going on a law that it's not in effect yet. And I went over that same concept in a video on the Senate Bill 1536, right? So if you have a bill that passes through the state, Senate, state legislation, gets to the governor's desk, the law states that three things must occur. Either it can sit there for 60 days and then the new bill becomes effective and becomes law. 2, the governor can sign it as is into law. Or 3, the governor can veto part or whole parts or the entire bill altogether. But you can't enact on a bill. You can't go operate on a bill and take action on a bill that has not become law and then try to say that this is the law. No, it's not. Because there are clear laws that give timing on these things when it comes to bills becoming law. In the state of Illinois, it's the same concept with this. This contract still stands. It's still effective. Even though it was vetoed or the amendments were vetoed, it's irrelevant because it has not been voted on and changed or rendered ineffective or voted out. So at that moment, it was still in effect. No different than you operating on laws that might not be in effect yet. You can't say that this is law when it's not. And the court will look at that and say, okay, what's the effective date for this new law? And when did it actually become effectuated? When did it take effect? It will be the same question about the contract. Okay, when did the contract get voted out? Or when was it amended? At the time that you all made the decision to sit here and say, we're going to let people buy these houses, this BP Capital Agreement was in effect. The court will not care. Oh, we voted for a veto. It was a veto in place. Yeah, but what did it render the actual contract agreement null and void? So they had to go to court. They will lose like hell listening to this little super stupid. Because she doesn't understand those concepts. It's so nutty. It's so freaking nutty listening to this. And then she became the mayor.
Trustee Henyard's correction. I don't see how this board has the ability today, unless it chooses to override the veto with BP Capital for the First Amendment, and then chooses to cancel the original contract. I don't see how it has the authority to enter into any more agreements, to enter into any acquisition of the properties while those agreements still stand.
Jesus Christ. I understand that.
Like to ask if I can for feedback.
I don't have the BP agreement in front of me, so I can't give a definitive opinion on that one way or another. I don't know why this is a matter of urgency at this point.
Thank you.
I will go back to my clerk's role and point out again to Trustee Stubbs, although she seconded this motion, that she herself and the rest of the majority of the board had tabled this to her committee. So right now it's in her committee.
It's amazing how the clerk has so much to say.
Yes.
He's not a vote for me. I talk to the people that vote for this.
It's amazing how super stupid can't read or do math, even when she became the mayor. It's amazing how she didn't understand concepts such as $5,000 for a house means you definitely still going to have some renovations done to it, because that's not even normal. Or the concept of a contractual agreement being rendered null and void. It's amazing that she didn't understand those things before she became the mayor. Or reading is fundamental. Somehow she missed doing that too. People call this, the term hating gets just abused and thrown out there because everyone forgets the definition of that word as well. This isn't hating. This is, you're not telling me, you're not going to distort reality for what I'm seeing and hearing right now. These are concepts that can be looked up and researched and read on and understood. So for those who want to sit here and talk about people are hating on this dummy girl, why don't you sit down and tell her concepts that she needs to know and understand when she's out here spewing nonsense all over social media? She needs a whole come to Jesus moment. Someone needs to give her intervention. And she's the ex-super mayor. Can we please stop calling her super mayor at this point? You're empowering her to have this dumb ego. To keep calling her that. Because we all thought, I literally said that she got to be just so delusional. When she did the video about her book. After leaving court. While still on the property of the courthouse. Still calling herself super mayor. Let's not feed that ego, please. She's no longer the supervisor or the mayor. What are we doing? Y'all, BP Capital, be careful with companies like that. Especially now when it comes to, you know, these houses that are definitely going to be going for sale that the investors are going to want to buy. That's around the childhood home of the Pope. This is why I played this. Because I want, hopefully, the residents to be knowledgeable and to have the fundamental understanding of how this goes. And you can look at all the other previous popes and their childhood homes and neighborhoods and communities where the same cycle has happened, where you have investors flooding in because they want to own property that has anything to do with the Pope because they know it's going to shoot up in value. Might go up in tax dollars as well, but you know, they're investors. They got money. They're wealthy. They can afford it. It's just, who knew all of this was going on in this same meeting? Oh my God.
Their opinion. I put in whatever people that have to vote on this. It's amazing that you guys, the clerk and the mayor, is trying to shoot down a program that I've been advocating forever. How y'all saying that now?
Because it defies man. The answer is no, girl.
Before this since October of last year, as you guys know. So
insanity.
Hey, roll call, so we can vote for it, and we see what my vote's like. My vote don't pass, then guess what? It dies.
Well, I don't want to put us in any more liable state.
Exactly. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Clause in the BP
Another concept she doesn't
and
get.
we stand to put ourselves liable for violating that agreement. And this board, some members of the board, majority members of this board has, and you, as you well know, Trustee Henry, has not agreed to take the exclusive right of those vacant houses out of the hands of BP Capital. You initially voted for it, and since that time, I don't know what, you saw the light or whatever, so it wasn't a good thing for us. And we've asked members of the majority of this board that has voted to keep BP Capital in here.
She voted for it to be exclusive,
and they have reaffirmed
and now wants to pretend like that's not the case.
Where they voted and how they voted to keep BP Capital in here. So if by voting on this agreement puts us in a liability state, we may in fact be sued.
Exactly. That's how that goes. Did she say it does not matter? Did she say it does not matter? It does not matter if they get sued. This is why she has over 30 lawsuits. Well, where are these friends of hers at where they can sit down and have an intervention with her to explain how to avoid being sued like hell? She gets sued all the time. She didn't care. In her world, in her mind, in her alternate reality, it does not matter. This is not hate. This is you pulling everybody else into your bullshit, girl. It's so stupid. But no, people take this as, oh, you're just hating on her. No, why don't you all go to court and pay those judgments that she's had issued against her then? Good luck to that. Let them get a taste of that. They'll understand. It wasn't hating. She shouldn't have said this because now everybody got to go to court on her.
It's that time. I don't know what, you saw the light or whatever, so it wasn't a good thing for us. And we've asked members of the majority of this board that has voted to keep BP Capital in here and asked them to reconsider, and they have reaffirmed that they stand fast where they voted and how they voted to keep BP Capital in here. So if by voting on this agreement puts us in a liability state, we may in fact
she didn't understand liability state.
Be sued.
And it does not matter. And the board members that you're speaking of also said that
it does not matter.
Coexist,
oh my God.
I still agree and believe we can coexist. So I would appreciate it. We can call the roll so we can move forward with our agenda.
Never mind him getting sued. He just said he could be a risk of being sued.
There's a penalty clause in that BP Capital agreement. So
they will be sued.
I always try to err on the side of liability. if we're going to get sued, because even if we,
you're talking to someone that did not go to law school and whose education was still challenged either way. Super Stupid did not go to law school. These concepts are hard for her, apparently, because she still has over 30 lawsuits still pending in court. This is ridiculous.
get sued and we win, we still lose because we have to pay the attorney fees. So so
nobody can tell her that though.
Just follow the guidelines.
So dumb.
Go ahead, trustee.
So dumb.
Stubbs, go ahead.
There is a clause in the BP Capital's paperwork that was for the 6 houses that you just vetoed. That was for the 6 Invest in Dolton houses.
Everybody else went to law school now?
To include, that was to amend those 6 houses with BP Capital for them to rehab those 6 houses and give us the $30,000 back.
And the water bill.
But I thought you said it was 2 different programs.
It is.
Okay.
I'm talking about what you just, is that what you just vetoed?
I vetoed the Invest in Dalton and the BP Capital
Why
Agreement.
is it so convoluted? Oh my God.
The First Amendment. And as we went forward, you kept saying, well, there's 2 different programs. So why is BP Capital agreeing to give us $30,000 on Invest in Dalton section side when supposedly it was 2 different programs and that attorney represented those 6 Invest in Dalton houses and not BP Capital?
This is a whole meeting.
Why would BP Capital agree to pay those if there was 2 different programs and BP Capital wasn't in charge of the Invest in Dalton ones?
Can I be recognized, Mayor?
Go ahead.
Okay, to answer your question, the attorney that had the taxes removed for those 6 properties, he's been paid and he's gone. One of the criticisms or the objections by some persons was we lost $30,000 because it was $5,000 per property times 6 is 30. BP Capital said what we'll do is that we will pay the Village of Dolton that $30,000 plus we would pay the water bills that were due on those properties because in judicial sales the village actually carries that water bill. So it's very clear in that First Amendment what is done. It has nothing to do with the other properties that the clerk is responding as. I think she said it was 30 and going or 30 and counting. We're talking strictly about the 6 properties that you vetoed tonight that BP Capital was willing to pay that money back to the village of $30,000 plus paying the back water bills on those 6 properties only. That's what the amendment was.
What about the actual clause of them having
that would be charged
exclusive
to the
rights?
village if the village, or I should say the mayor, would interfere with the operation of getting those 6 properties rehabbed. And according to what I understand, I've been told that those houses, those 6, which are mostly on slabs, can be rehabbed in 30 days or less. I mean, we can put families in those homes 30 days or less, but it's been vetoed tonight.
I would not
as
listen.
The trustee is saying,
I
we can
wouldn't
have
trust
programs
that.
that coexist with home rule. We can do that. We agreed to that, and I agree with the trustee that we need to take the vote.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may be recognized again.
Go ahead.
I am referring not just to the First Amendment, which creates questions regarding penalties, because it's a First Amendment to the original BP Capital Agreement.
Right.
Originally, there were 2 agreements. One, for reasons which escape me, one with BP Capital, which pretty much allowed BP Capital, as I read it, to acquire on behalf of the Village of Dalton any vacant properties it sees fit, and that is ongoing. Second was the Invest in Dalton, which identified a program to acquire other properties, which this First Amendment narrows down to 6. So we have 2 different programs and a First Amendment that for one program that amends the first program. So yes, we're all very confused. My question is whether or not the first agreement that was approved by the board, vetoed by the mayor, that veto was overridden by the board, so it still exists, which by my reading allows the village, allows BP Capital the exclusive right to acquire properties on behalf of the Village of Dalton. Is that not a conflict with Trustee Henyard's proposal? In other words, if you pass block by block, you're going to be in conflict and expose the village to liability by BP Capital, which has shown no reluctance to sue this board in the past.
I understood that completely perfectly.
Because they're talking about South land by coming in. So what's the difference? Hypocrisy.
Yeah, this is coming from Little Super Stupid and the other one that did not go to law school. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Talk to the attorney if the attorney felt that I had conflict or issue. I'm pretty sure Attorney Murphy would have advised me of that earlier. So would you stop? Mayor, I will advise you, can you call the roll? You've been on this long enough.
Yes.
I would like to see what my votes are. If I have them, I have them. If I don't, I don't.
You can advise me to take the roll call as many times as you want. You can advise me to take the roll call as many times as you want, but as long as the discussion, we're going to discuss it.
Okay, whatever is up for the public, we all just talk about.
This is the ridiculousness of it all.
And then you can find out what's going to be discussed. Go ahead, Trustee Mohammed.
Okay, just quickly, the hypocrisy from the two elected officials on this board. You're constantly saying how we can coexist with South Suburban Land Bank when there is no issue with them coexisting with us. But
You're
now all of a
going
sudden
in
there's
at
an
something
issue
else.
coexisting with the block by block housing program. So
Oh,
I'm saying
bro.
let's take the vote either up or down and let's move forward. Thank you, Mayor.
This is why his
May I-
water
may I
bill
be
got cut off.
recognized before we take the vote?
Go ahead.
Still the same, is it not?
No.
Trustee Henyard.
Oh no, there's a part two.
Yeah.
This meeting's adjourned.
No, y'all. Great. This was 2 parts. Oh dear Lord. All right, y'all. That's it. All right. This is something else. Oh, child. Shout out to Public Ops TV. Y'all see why I just don't even have the temperament to go back and rewind and revisit these old meetings. I just don't. That's me personally. I can't stand the sound of Super Super's voice for too long. It's annoying, irritating. The stupidity that comes out of her mouth. Somehow everyone wants to define and break down to just being somebody about hating on somebody and other dumb things that make no sense when she refuses to read or do math. So I just, and those same people don't go to her and say, listen, you girl, you talking out the side of your neck, because none of that makes sense. That's not how that works. Where are they at when she needs to clearly have just a basic level of understanding on some of these concepts? It's easy to say someone's hating on someone, but somehow it's difficult to tell her that 3 + 3 is 6 and not circle. Are we doing this? The idea that she said it doesn't matter if there's some liability with that, because of reasons. This is coming from the person with over 30 lawsuits. Oh my God. Did she have court this week for 10 cases or something? Yeah. Well, I got a good laugh in, dude's water bill got cut off. That was purposeful. We all enjoyed that laugh. It was funny. But, some of the things that, for the just, it's almost just entertainment to see this and hear this. And it's oh man, mind boggling. My head hurts. All right. But shout out to Public Ops TV, y'all. Go and support him. Check out his great content on his channel. Make sure you all are hitting the like button here. I know it's late, but 2 hours is pretty much our stream time. I appreciate all of you all for supporting me here. Be on the lookout for the 2 videos premiering tomorrow. Discussion between Piers Morgan and Candace Owens, as well as the first of series on Nature Boy, the cult leader, who still has like 3-4 wives here in Atlanta that he claims to be wives. They're not legally married, but whatever. It's a cult. So he's in prison for the rest of his life. But we're going to continue to check out, the inner workings of this cult. And shout out to Hood Horrors for doing such a great job on the series. 34, 35 episodes, I think they have so far. Make sure you guys go and check them out as well. We're trying to hit 30,000 supporters by the end of July. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and hitting the like button. And, just all I can do is just kind of laugh at this stuff. Thank you all so much. Hit the like button on the way out. You guys get some rest. Enjoy your evening. And tomorrow we will go live and talk about the lawsuit that was filed on behalf of Wendy Williams and do a little deep dive on that. Thank you all so much as well. Become a member. All those good things. And until the next one, Lady Luck Up. God, I'm tired. Deuces.